You're listening to Main Character Manifesto, wellness, mindset, and identity shifts that help you live the life you don't need an escape from. I am Ceci, your no BS life coach and wellness bestie. Around here, it's simple. Eat what you love, move with purpose, think bigger, and show the hell up. Are you ready? Let's get into it.
Fire, who's that girl? That's me, I'm on fire. I'm a hot girl, I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want, this is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.
Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to episode 28 of Main Character Manifesto. Let me just tell you, when I first thought about starting the podcast, and I've talked about how it felt like such a hard thing to do and to put together, and I felt like I was in like a deep dark hole of how I was going to actually make it happen. And look at us now. Episode 28, a year into the coaching business and just a year into really showing up and allowing myself to be seen. And I know that a lot of you listening have felt this shift within yourself where you have told me and messaged me that you identify with a lot of the messaging and that it's helped you really step into your own power. And let me just tell you, that makes me so excited and so grateful that this era of growth and expansion and evolving into being that vision that you see is just a beautiful community that we are creating. And this is just the beginning. Honestly, I'm so excited. And if you listened to last week's episode or if you watched it, I was just going to record that podcast as an audio. And I thought, you know what? What a fun little clip to save for future me to look back and be like, look at the things you were doing. Look at how you just decided to record, even if it wasn't perfect, even if the lighting was hideous. I looked back at the video and I'm like, oh my God, that lighting with the green undertone was not it. I'm so picky when it comes to lighting. I am also an interior designer, so I know lighting. I know the undertones that I like and all the things, but listen, we made it work and I'm just happy that I did, even if it was imperfect, which is exactly how you get momentum. That is exactly how you get to your goals. When you let go of being perfect, when you let go and you just show up no matter what, you decide that you're going to do it, you decide that you're showing up, and you make it happen. That is movement, that is momentum, that is success. The people that achieve the goals that they set are the people that actually show up. It's not the people that made it perfect every single time. It's the people that actually just made it happen, even if it was messy. So listen, let's learn from that. That is lesson number 1 for today's episode. But as I promised, I wanted to give you guys a recap of this weekend. And let me just tell you, it was absolutely transformational because I was in the energy of women who are movers and shakers and making things happen and growing their businesses. All of these women have online businesses like I do, and they are badass. They are trailblazers. They are iconic, and they are all different. That's what I loved. Everybody was uniquely their own. Everybody had their own style, and the one thing in common is that they were fearless in showing up and doing what they wanted to do. That doesn't mean that they never have fear. That doesn't mean they don't have blocks. That doesn't mean they don't have setbacks. Being fearless, truly fearless deep down in your core means that you do it even if you're scared. You do it even if you have doubt. You do it even if you think you're going to fail. Even if you know for certain you know you're going to fail, it's never really for certain because there's always like 1% chance. Even if you're 99% like it's not going to work out, there's still that 1% because you never know what can happen. So being fearless is showing up even when everything is against you, because eventually things start to turn around. And that is the energy that I want to be around. That is the energy that I want to give out into the world, that no matter what, even if only one person shows up, even if no one showed up for whatever you had going on, or whatever event, whatever party, whatever it is, as long as you are showing up, that's all that matters. Because what that is doing, that is teaching yourself that you are holding yourself accountable, that you are the person that keeps their promises, that you can rely on yourself, and that you feel safe around yourself. Building that inner confidence, that inner dialogue, that inner commitment that you know you can trust yourself to show up no matter what. That is the most powerful thing that you can do in order to grow, expand, and evolve. In order to show up for your family, you have to first show up for yourself. And I have said this, and I will say this over and over again, because as women, we have to really truly hear that. And this weekend, I heard an overwhelming amount of people just talking about how they've moved into their power even when people doubted them. And that is so powerful, because so many women, including me, it's almost like we wait for other people's approval. Like you tell people like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then you wait for them to be like, yes, that's great. Or no, that's not a good idea. But deep down, you already know what you want to do. You already know what you don't want to do. And then you still wait around and get validation and get permission from everybody else except for you. So that is something that we are leaving in the past. We're leaving that in 2025, and we are not bringing that to our 2026 era, because our 2026 era is our ING era. We are growing, manifesting, evolving. We are not holding back, and we are not going to apologize for who we want to be and who we want to become. That is just not what we do around here. One of the things that really came to light in this conference that I went to, we did quite a few different workshops within it. There was guest speakers, and they were all incredible. And we did shadow work. We did a splinter removal. I mean, think like when you hear that, it's kind of wild to hear a splinter removal, right? Like the visual of that is just something that you know that it's there, but you don't know how to take it out. And then someone comes in with those specialized little tweezers, and they're like, oh, I have the special ones that are thin enough to get that splinter out. That is what this woman did. She was Dr. Essie Spencer. She's really great. She's from Australia. And she was there on her actual birthday for this event. And it was really, really amazing. For me, it really opened up what I had been dimming down. I realized that over the years, I had been told you have too many emotions, you're too loud, or I felt like my body was too much, right? Like my hips are 42. I actually haven't measured them lately, but they range between like 40. They've been up to like 44 when I've been like heavier. So my hips are double the size as my waist. My waist is the same size as one of my thighs. So I have a very small waist. I have big hips. I have big thighs. I am very curvy, and that always felt really loud to me. It felt like it was just too obvious. I wanted to be more understated. I didn't want to stand out. And so then I wanted to dim myself down so that I could make other people feel comfortable around me because I didn't feel comfortable around me. So then I assumed that other people felt like it was too much because I didn't look the same as other people. So when you think about yourself, where in your life have you felt too much or not enough? And have you just dimmed your light? And you know deep down inside that that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to want to be less than what you are. Because even with dating, I know that I've showed up and I know I am a powerful as fuck woman. And I know that when I say I am going to do something, then I do it. I'm actually scared of my own potential because I know that if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. So then I will be like, oh, let me watch my words because I know if I say it, I have to do it now, right? So it's like, I know how incredibly powerful I am. And I feel like that has scared men in my life because they don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to move how I move. And with this journey, I have learned so much about myself and how not to apologize for what I want and how I move and where I want to go. The right people, your right friendships, even if it's within your family and they don't understand, they don't have to understand what you're doing and accept it. As long as they love you, that's enough. I don't need validation from anybody else but myself because I now know that within my deep down intuition, and for me, I feel it in my gut. It's just like this feeling where I'm like, I have to do this or that doesn't feel good. And you have that too. You just have to learn to exercise it. It's like a muscle that you have to identify and be like, oh, okay, I see where that muscle is. Now I have to pay attention to this muscle when something is happening and then I'm feeling like, oh, that's a really hard conversation, or someone is asking you to do something that you don't necessarily know if you want to do, and pay attention to that muscle. Your intuition will tell you if it's a hell yes or a hell no. And usually if it's a hell no, we are so scared and we sugarcoat it and we do it anyways, knowing deep down inside that we didn't want to do it. And that comes in forms of people pleasing. You know you don't have the time. Somebody asks you to do something. It's overextending yourself, but you're so afraid to say no because one, women don't want to be perceived as bitches. Two, you don't want to let people down. And three, you think that by saying no, that is going to sound selfish. And a woman choosing themselves first in other people's eyes is selfish. But let me just tell you that you choosing yourself is the most powerful thing that you can do. You having boundaries, it is so incredibly important because that is going to set your anchor. That is going to help you so that you rebalance your nervous system because you can only give so much. You have to have priorities, and learning how to say no is such a huge part of that, and being able to feel that peace that you've been looking for, to feel like you're actually living in the moment, to finally feel like you are living present and enjoying those moments with your family. Because so many times when you are overworked, you're doing too much, you're giving everything to your business, you're giving everything to your family, you're giving everything to your kids, to your spouse, maybe you're doing some things for your friends. When do you have time for yourself? You have to carve out non-negotiable moments where it's just time for you. And then after that, you're able to give and then allow for other people to take from your energy. But the first and the most important person, the number one priority is you. That is who you have to pour your energy into first in order to have that strong foundation. That is key. And some of us don't know how to receive that, right? So I think if there's one thing that you take away from today's episode is, where in your life are you the cost? Where in your life are you the one allowing for all of this energy to be leaking? Because that's what's happening. Your energy is leaking and you are not able to move forward and to feel like you're fully, happily in your body, living in this moment and enjoying the successes. And maybe you're not even get to the success part because you're just draining energy. Think about like a cup, right? If you're trying to fill that cup, but it's got holes everywhere, you're never going to fill that cup up to the top. That's you. That's the analogy of you and your energy and you trying to get to the goals that you want to get. And for some of you, it means saying a lot of no's, because if your job is overworking you and you don't know how to say no, you don't know how to say no to your kids when they're constantly asking you for things, and you haven't even put one thing on your calendar to do for yourself, of course you're going to feel depleted. So this is where it stops. This is where the cycle stops, because you have the power to make it stop. And unless you do it, no one else is going to come save you. No one else is going to come and change that pattern. You have to change that pattern of people pleasing and overextending. And this is where it stops. So going back to that splinter removal session, we did a splinter removal. We talked about shadow work. We talked about really going back to that person that we want to be. Like at the end of our life, what do you want to be proud of? Do you want to look back and be like, I was a people pleaser and I never learned how to say no, so I never achieved that peace within myself. I never achieved those goals because I was too afraid, because I just spent my life for everybody else except for me. And let me just tell you, living your life for you is not a selfish thing, because you show up as such a good version of yourself. And then you're actually able to give everybody else the right energy that you're able to give. Because right now, even though you're over giving, it's still depleted. It's not the best version of yourself. So you're diluting yourself because you're giving out too much. And then the people that matter the most are not getting the best version of you either. So stop diluting who you are just to try and do everything at once. That just doesn't happen. And if you really do an audit of your life and who you're giving your energy to, you're going to realize that there's a lot of places that don't deserve your energy, that you need to have boundaries. You do not need to answer emails past 5 o'clock. When you're clocked out, you're clocked out. And they need to learn and understand that. So having those boundaries is super important. In that splinter removal, I realized that I had been really, truly dimming myself and trying to become so much like everybody else because I felt like I was too much, even though I've been working on myself and I feel like I've been really showing up so much more authentically over this past year in my business and in my personal life. But to have that light bulb moment, that realization that I thought I was way further than I really was. And this weekend just really just showed me and expanded my mind and really showed me where I really want to be and how I really want to show up and how I'm just done with the cycle of dimming my own light so that I can make other people feel comfortable. And that's just not going to happen anymore because I want to be that leader, that expander. I want to be that person that does it first so that I can lead other people to do it as well, because I truly feel like I've gotten a calling that this is what I'm meant to do. And I know that I am meant to lead other women into their best potential. And I know that that starts within me. And I know that the light, the energy, the expansion that I will show within me is going to be that leader energy that guides other women to inspire them to finally take the leap of faith and do it themselves too. Because I am the type of person that I am very highly motivated. I don't need somebody to hold my hand. I do need a mentor that gives me that clarity when I don't have that vision. Or let's say, yes, I do have the vision, but if I don't have the strategy and if I can't see how I'm getting there, I know that I can still walk towards there with some unknown and some uncertainty, but I need to know that my mentor has been there before and that I'm walking in the right direction. And I want to be that for other people, to tell them that I know it doesn't feel certain for you right now, but trust me, you're on the right path and everything that you're doing is feeling good within your intuition. So that's what reaffirms the fact that you are in the right path to get to where you want to be. At the end of the day, if it feels good deep down in your core, then you're in the right direction. So, because I have been in rooms, I have been in masterminds, I have been in coaching groups, one-on-one coaching, where I have gotten that type of support where it has elevated me to the point of where I am today. I know that I can help other women that are stuck in the places that I've been stuck and help them elevate, grow, and evolve and expand to places that they wish that they could be at, that they dream about, but they don't know exactly how to get there. I actually have been documenting my journey with nervous system regulation. I'm so interested on why things happen, and everything has a layer. At the end of the day, for example, I talk about emotional eating and how for myself, that has been something that I have used to cope, to self-soothe my anxiety, my stress, the weight of the things that I have to do when I know I have like a really busy time coming up, or I know that I need to work on a project. I get this kind of feeling of anxiety that's overwhelming, and I either want to hide out and just get under the covers and avoid and just kind of sleep for days, or it's almost like this feeling of numbing yourself, like numbing your feelings. And people do it in different ways. Some people do it with over exercising, some people under exercise, some people overeat like me. And some people might be like, have too many glasses of wine at night to just forget about the day. But at the end of the day, we are all doing the same thing. We are self-soothing with something that is helping us avoid what we want to do. It helps us detach from what's actually happening. It helps us avoid and run away from tackling the actual activity that will get us out of this funk. And it's not okay. For me, it has been self-soothing, numbing myself with food. And so then I realized, okay, so I know and I'm aware that this is happening. And for most high achieving women, we know what our trigger is and we know what our medicine is. So for me, my trigger is something that I have to do, a goal that scares me, a deadline that I have and maybe I'm feeling a little bit like imposter syndrome. So anything that is related to fear is going to be then followed by procrastination because you're scared to do it. So then you avoid doing it. And then what follows is, okay, so how am I going to soothe that procrastination and that feeling of failure because I know that I should be doing it. Now I'm aware that I'm procrastinating. What do I do to soothe that feeling? So now I'm going to go to my medicine, and my medicine is food. And I'll be like, okay, let me just grab a snack. Maybe subconsciously I say, if I grab a snack, maybe I'll feel better after. You grab a snack, it doesn't feel better. You grab another snack, it doesn't feel better. And it's this cycle where you're just kind of like going deeper, deeper, deeper. And if you're not aware that this is happening, this is a horrible cycle where you're not breaking it until you're actually tackling what's in front of you, until you're actually making the moves in the thing that is scaring you. So what I realized is when I started to take action and when I started to be really, really intentional and use this like 5-minute method that I created for myself, I realized that I was able to actually be in the moment, present, and then actually start to just move forward, take action, and get past through the fear. And then I realized, wow, like ever since I've been doing this little method that I created, I have been able to just avoid the self-sabotage, the overeating. And let me just clarify. The fact that I know and acknowledge, and I am admitting that whenever I have something going on, I soothe and I am an emotional eater, that is not something that you heal and then it goes away forever. Because it's almost like my personality trait that is what I lean on. That's kind of part of my genetics. It's in my brain. And let me tell you, I am going to get deeper into the episodes. I want to do so much more research on the brain and why that is that we are that way and why people like us choose food instead of other things. So I will get more information. What I know now in this very moment is that when you're an emotional eater, it's something that you work with the rest of your life. You learn to manage it and you learn to get ahead of it. It's not something that you heal. Like, oh, I did this one method after 5 minutes or after 10 minutes, or I went to this retreat and I'm changed forever. No, that's not how it works. You become aware of whatever your self-soothing medicine is, and then you learn to manage it. I guess the way that I could compare it is like maybe an alcoholic. They deal with something like that every single day. They have to choose to not choose alcohol. And it's a choice. It's an awareness. It's something they work on every day. I feel like emotional eaters can heal parts of themselves so that they're not leaning on that emotional eating medicine, self-soothing technique. But at the end of the day, it's something that may come up when you're in another crazy, intense, super stressful situation. So I did want to create a tool that would help me. And then I'm like, what if this tool could actually help other people? And that's what really excites me, to really go into this era where I am not just cheering people on, I am giving people the tools. So what does a high achieving woman who has her own business, who has a family, who has a lot of demands, who has a lot of interest, who really wants to show up the best version of herself in her health, in her wellness? Because let me just tell you, health is wealth. And if you are lucky enough to be healthy, to be able to walk, to be able to exercise, if you're intestines are healthy. I mean, some people can't even digest food correctly, right? We are lucky. We are able to eat. We have health. We wake up every morning. We can exercise, and we take that for granted because we are so bombarded with all of the other things that we have to do. We know we feel better when we eat healthy and we work out and we have a good routine in our wellness. We know that we are the best version of ourselves for our family, for our loved ones, for our business. We know that. How do we get there? And I want to create the tools that will support that high achieving woman, that stay at home high achieving woman, or that entrepreneurial high achieving woman who works from home and is tugged in every which way, but they just need resources to be like, okay, this is how I center myself again. I want to be part of the solution. I don't want to be just inspiring and just cheering you on, because at the end of the day, my type of coaching style is that I am a mentor. I help you get you to where you want to be so that you can be fully sustained and that you can fully grow and evolve on your own once you have the tools, once you've gotten past those hard patches, and then you evolve and you grow and you become, and then you step fully into the version that you want to be. So, I did create my first workbook, which I think is really amazing, and it's going to be available November 24th, 2025. So, and I will link it on the show episode. So if you listen to me in the future, it'll be available along with all of the other tools that I'm creating. And this weekend was such an expansion weekend for me because it confirmed that everything that's been brewing in my brain that I want to create to support women is exactly where I should be. So it was just truly amazing. And I'm so excited to support you in your journey and to hear directly from you guys one-on-one how these tools that I'm creating are helping you to step into the best version of yourself. I mean, think about it. If we as women collectively work on becoming the best version of ourselves, we're going to be so badass. Like, it's just so exciting to me. That's exactly how I felt this weekend. Like the images that I got for myself for the events that I want to throw, like the intimate dinners that feel very luxurious and feel expansive and feel like you're not only going and being around women that are fun and that provide a lot of value for yourself, you are investing in your future. You are investing in yourself. You're investing in your family, because the best investment you could ever make for your family is to be the best version of you. So this is where it starts. And I'm so excited for 2026, for the beautiful events that I'm going to host to support and expand other women. And I'm so excited that you are here to be with me along this ride and then to hop on the journey along with me. That is what excites me the most. So let me just do a little recap on like the beautiful event. It was a 3-day event and all of the details were so beautiful. It felt truly like it was a $100,000 wedding that we were attending. That was like a 3-day wedding. It was just so beautiful. My mentor is Leanne Lopez Mosley, and she was the woman hosting the event. And she had a panel of women that were incredible. She had guest speakers. She also did a Q&A where somebody interviewed her and her husband. And it was just truly beautiful to see how she is not apologetic of who she is. She was very clear on what she wanted. And the fact that she said, I am not dimming my light for any man and for anyone. And she has ended up with a man who not only values her, who loves exactly who she is, and that she is this powerhouse of a woman. So I want you to know that whether you're married or whether you're single or whatever phase in your life that you are, as long as you are showing up authentically and you're setting up your boundaries, your partner will love and respect you even more for that. It's all in the delivery. It's all in how you position yourself. It's all in just being yourself, no apologies, and secure in who you are. Because at the end of the day, that's going to elevate everybody around you. I also got to hang out with my friend Michaela. She is amazing. We met last year at a conference, and it was truly such a cute little way that we ended up sitting next to each other last year, and we were inseparable the rest of the weekend. And this weekend, it was the same. Like, we literally hadn't seen each other in a year. We're both super busy. We do set up some video chats for each other where we can mastermind and we can talk about life and business and all of that. And let me just tell you, this weekend was so intense because we would be at the event all day and then we would come home to our luxury condominium. Let me just tell you, if you need visuals, go to my Instagram page because this condominium, I'm in love. Like, I was literally manifesting having a condominium overlooking the water, high rise with water views and city views, and it was just to die for. And we would come home after the event and just talk and debrief and throw out ideas. And the way that we expand ourselves is really, really beautiful. We just really pour into each other. And we even set up a photo shoot for some exciting products that we each have coming out for our own business. I am so excited for the photo shoot that I did. You guys are going to love the next tool that I'm going to release, and that's going to be coming out soon. But for now, the one tool that will be available November 24th is the Emotional Eating SOS Guide. And I'm really excited. It's just like this really great way to just reset yourself. It is a 5-minute reset for high achieving women, and it's just got some really helpful tools and techniques. And let me just tell you, do not underestimate the power of this guide, because you might look at it, and if you're not in the area where you want to expand and grow and truly do the hard work, you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, that's too much for me, or is that enough for me? Like, I feel like people sometimes look at things and they look at it and they're like, oh, that's it. Like, you expect this huge transformation. But let me just tell you that transformation comes from the little things that you're actually pouring into. This reset guide is just a little stepping stone, is just a little taster menu for you to learn and understand what you need to do to get to the next level. This is just a little sample for you guys to look into and see what working with me and what my world is going to be about. So give it a chance. Don't underestimate it, because if you do the work, I promise you, you will be on the other side of where you want to be. It was so cool because the post that I made before I went to the event, it was from a year ago, and I was literally almost more than 10 pounds lighter this year when I came back from the trip. And even just looking at my outfits from last year to this year, I can see that I'm a lot leaner. But it's not just the physical weight that I was able to get rid of. It's the emotional weight that I released. That is where the magic is. You will get transformations, but you have to deal with what's going on deep down inside. And let me just tell you, I feel like this episode is going on for longer than what I expected, but listen, I just felt super motivated, super inspired. I am so excited to keep working on this message to deliver to you guys so that I can keep elevating, motivating, but actually now giving you the tools to grow, evolve, and expand. So I am so excited. And if you want more visuals of the weekend, I highly encourage you to go follow me on Instagram. Of course, I always have a lot of great posts in there. I have all my resources. You can go to my YouTube. I am on Spotify and all of the other platforms where you listen to your podcast. But I'm so excited to be able to share with you all of the other exciting tools that will be coming up and get ready for my retreats and events in 2026. So if you have any questions or you're curious about applying to work one-on-one with me, you can go to my link in my bio on my Instagram. I have my calendar there, and I always reply to all of my DMs. You can message me here, and then I can message you back, and then we can get in contact. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for showing up every week. And for the people in the future, thank you for being here, because that is just so exciting that we are growing, evolving, expanding, and really filling this world with women that are incredible. So, thank you so much for tuning in to Main Character Manifesto. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend, tag me on social, or leave a review. It would mean the world to me. It helps more people find the show. Remember, your story isn't waiting to be written. It's happening right now. Own it, love it, live it. Keep choosing growth. Keep choosing you. I'll see you on the next episodes. Bye.